Ever since Thomas and Percy have been really useful in making good friends, but sometimes Percy teases Thomas, but Thomas didn't like that. He just so crossly away, leaving Percy still struggling. And eventually, however, he began to cause some troublesome makers, which was starting to begin. One day, Peyton was on his way collecting his train. He was taking on water first, just when Thomas and Percy pulled up alongside. "There you are," they said. You all stole your cars again, didn't you?" Peyton was horrified. "You know I didn't tell him," he cried. "We made a promise, didn't we?" "That's the fact control will make you about stuff about, eh?" said Thomas. "But you know I didn't tell him," cried Peyton. It wasn't my fault I didn't tell him, and besides," he added, Denny was making a good time showing those trucks. Will you two be doing that too?" The tank engines puffed crossly away. The next day, Thomas and Percy arrived to see the monster truck shed. "Hello there," he said. "Why are you two being so mean of?" "Well," said Thomas sternly, "we tried to find out who stole our collars again, didn't we?" "Oh yeah," replied the monster truck. "That was a very good choice, though. Remember last time when I played a trick that I crashed into my wheels?" "That's what Bill and Ben did," he added, "when Buckle took their trucks." "Good idea," said Percy eagerly. "Thank you." With that, Thomas and Percy went off to find Denny. Meanwhile, Denny was shunting trucks all the way to the signing for Nelson to collect. He went to stop on the track and went to collect the other truck. He found that the trucks that he just shunted were heading straight towards him. And then Denny heard that another truck was coming towards him too, and so Denny was squashed between 3 trucks. "Grrr!" growled Denny. "What is the meaning of this?" Thomas was very cross with Denny. You told on Percy and me, didn't you?" "I don't know what you two are talking about," replied Denny. "Yes, you do," snapped Percy. "Don't play that trick on us, or we'll squash you like a brake van." "Help! Help!" cried Denny. Just then, Nelson finally bustled in. "Thomas? Percy?" he said. "What on soda is going on here? You two are meant to be doing your work. Now shift." But, sputtered Percy. "No buts," snapped Nelson. "I'll handle Denny." The tank engines puffed crossly away. "Are you alright, Denny?" asked Nelson. "Yes, thank you, Nelson," said Denny. "Why did you—" "Why I what?" asked Nelson. "Why didn't you stick up for me? You almost could have let them squash me." "We're not in the modern times anymore, Denny," said Nelson. "This is what I've been good friends for. Diesels, steamies, it doesn't matter what we are. After all, we still on the same rails. Cheerios!" And Nelson puffed away. The next day later, Denny had to take some empty trucks this time and was taking them to the harbor. He remembered last time when he was ill and had to take some heavy coal trucks, and now Nelson had to take him without his heavy coal trucks all the way to his Wyndham docks on time. And now the engines had to treat Denny as well as his own. But now Denny, however, was still in a bad mood. Thomas saw him again and spoke angrily to him. "You're saying that you don't remember telling the Fat Controller about me and Percy swapping colors again. I don't believe you," he huffed. And Thomas puffed crossly away. He remembered the Fat Controller had to do by himself, had to give them orders, and with that, the engines were beginning to think that the rumors were true. Meanwhile, however, Percy had to take some school children to school. He buckled up to his coach with Dylan next to him. He would begin to feel sorry for Percy. "I'm sorry that Denny was tricking you and Thomas," he said. "I never liked him myself anyway." Percy felt better. "It's all right," he said. "I never liked him too anyway," he added. And the two engines agreed. Then there was trouble. The boys would decide to show off by having a ride on a train. They went inside Percy's cab, and without Percy's driver watching them, Percy began to move the station by hearing his whistle blow. "I best be on my way," he said. "But Percy," cried Dylan, you haven't been coupled to your coach." But Percy didn't listen. He still heard his whistle blowing as he left the station by accident. Dylan wasn't shocked. Soon Percy was beginning to enjoy himself. He began to travel along on the line without the quiet train behind him. But what he didn't know was that the boys would ride onto him. "Oh, that was easy," he thought to himself. "Hey, aren't I going too much faster?" he asked himself. But no one replied. Percy was shocked that he had finally lost his train and driver. "Wait a minute," he cried. "You're not my driver. Who are you?" Justin, no one noticed, and Percy began to feel really fast. "Help! Help!" he cried. Percy was going way too fast. And then he rushed straight past the signal box. The signal box was shocked, and as he called the telephone for help. Meanwhile, Thomas was having a nap when Denny pulled up beside him. "Thomas, wake up!" he cried. "Percy's in the runaway." Thomas was very cross. "Will you ever stop yelling, Denny?" he shouted. "If Percy is on the runaway, then why don't you go fetch him yourself?" "I can't," cried Denny. "I'm not strong enough or fast enough. You have to believe me, Thomas. Trust me," he cried. "Why would I ever believe you?" he huffed Thomas. But when, suddenly, "Help!" it went. It was Percy rushing by. "Percy is in trouble!" Thomas cried. "I'm coming!" And he rushed off as fast as he could. And soon, however, caught up to Percy. "What's happened?" he asked his friend. "Some children were driving me roughly," cried Percy, "and I thought it was my driver, but it was those kids," he shouted. "Don't worry," said Thomas. I'll help you save the day." And at last Thomas pulled up to Percy gently, and the workman coupled up to the back of him, and together they began to slow down. And eventually they began to slow down just in time as they came to a stop. The Fat Controller was waiting for them. "Well done, Thomas," he said. "You are a very brave engine. You helped your best friend Percy, and before you could cause to make him crashed. I am very proud of you." "Thank you, sir," said Thomas happily. He felt very pleased with himself. He felt very pleased. And that day on, he was learned probably how to be a really useful engine. Do 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 do.